Welcome back. It's another episode of your favorite show, Awakening Spiritual Gifts. And we're excited to be here answering all your questions. Before we dive in, let's go ahead and look at the daily energy. Martina, take it away.
Yeah. Okay, let's take a look here. All right. So one of the first things I saw is a little bit. It's still just that yellowish, kind of goldish winds of change energy. There's still some of that residual energy that we kept seeing from last week. It is not quite as it doesn't look quite like the winds anymore. It's just like it's still just kind of there in the atmosphere. So it tells me there that there's um, a lot of good that can come from these things. There's a lot of like divine messages. We got the message thing, which I got to tell you is really, I'm just going to sidetrack this really fast because I thought this was fascinating. So last week when we got the little, seeing these messages and like downloads coming into the people, I love to watch the patterns and listen to people's conversations. So on like social media, that's a lot of times what I'm doing is I listen and see what's going on and look for those patterns. And I started to hear a couple people talk about and like post things like, is there something going on that's strange? And this one person was like, I went to the store and it just looked like people were kind of like just walking in a zone and just like, you know, almost like zombies just walking in the store. And it was interesting, but the way that she described it, and then also then other people were piping in about like, yeah, I just feel like distracted, or like my kids, it just feels like we're all just kind of like having a lot of stuff going on. And I was like, I think it's that. I think it was totally that energy where a lot of people were getting, I mean, there's other reasons to be zombified, but the way that these things were talking, the way that it was being talked about, the energy looked very similar to I mean, if you imagine like we're getting these conversations and we're getting these messages and they're big downloads, that's like a chunk of your consciousness. You use subconsciousness, but your brain, like you're still picking up things. And so here you're trying to like be on the regular life over here, but all of this is distracted and and receiving and knowing what this is. And so anyway, but I thought that was kind of interesting. So if you felt any of that, or you had a lot of people, your family, children, like friends, family, anyone that you are around, if you saw any of those kind of distracted things, that could definitely be what it is. Also, too, I didn't look at the specific daily energy over the weekend, like Saturday and Sunday, because I've just been doing this on the call Monday through Friday. But I'd be really curious to
Let's look at it.
I know, all of a sudden I'm like, wait a minute, can I go back? Um, Oh, so okay. Well, this ties into what I'm seeing today. So this energy rolled in over the weekend, and now I'm seeing it now. But okay, so that little yellowish gold is still there, and the next energy that I was seeing is there's like these, um, for lack of better words, like the way that it moves into the ground and the shape of it, it reminds me of like a pickaxe. Like if you're to go kink, kink, and try to like get something, like dig in, or even like a tool that you're digging into the ground. What is that like? I don't know. I don't know all the tools. I'm not a yard person.
Kind of like a pickaxe. Yeah, I get it. What you're saying.
It's like, yeah, there's
A
like the ice
jackhammer.
kind of pickaxe, not quite a jackhammer because it's more the angled thing. But anyway, so I'm kind of seeing that even in the ground that we're on, and the which that's kind of where all of us are. And so the message there it was kind of showing me is it's like, okay, all that stuff that we just uprooted and cleared out, there's some stuff we got to dig in a little bit deeper, kind of like a kink. We got to chisel it out. So that's not going to feel super comfortable. So if there's a little bit more chiseling, a little bit more self-reflection, a few more, like if maybe thought that you had worked through an issue or a problem that you were working through and then dealing with, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, this is like fine tooth, like it's bringing up a little bit more. That's what that tool does. And that's what rolled in over the weekend. I definitely saw that. It could also feel like revisiting old things. Like I said, like you thought you'd recovered from something, or you thought something was over, and poof, just a little bit more of a layer circles back. So that was interesting. Up above in the sky, I do see a little bit of like the cloudy, stormy kind of energy still, or just kind of up in the atmosphere. So it tells me that there's still a little bit of a storminess above us. Um, and then, but here's some really great news. I also saw new life, like in this ground, like where we are. So when I say the ground, that's like us and where we're at, right? At that level. I also saw sprouts and some new like things sprouting up and growing, like spring, which is kind of interesting. It's this time of year anyway, but spring. So it just felt like even though there's some cloudy and those things going on, there's hope and there's sprouts and new things that are starting to grow out of the ground. Honestly, oh, I never even thought of this, but this makes me actually wonder if that tool, I do know this, like after the winter and the soil is kind of hardened, like you usually go in and kind of till the ground up to just loosen that dirt. I'm thinking that that tool, the little thing in the ground, is there to loosen up the ground within each of us so that new seeds can be planted in, which will bring more sprouts, no more plants, and more like growth and things to harvest later, right? The interesting thing, I heard three words when I saw the pickaxe, which I'm gonna like ponder on this one because I'm like, Christy, there's something for these words for us. But the three words here when I saw this was align, refine, and define. So that's part of the purpose of this is it's to help us align, it's to refine it, to clean it out, and to define it, made it feel like there's like to bring awareness and stuff to it. So that was pretty cool. Um, the other thing too, just to as a reminder for people that if we don't clear our land and if then it will be cleared for us. So I was reminded of this, you choose or it's going to be forced upon you. So it's choice or force. Um, and it totally reminded me of one of the things that Christy and I love to talk about and we teach and a lot of our things, we call it the cycle of ascension and a lot of the patterns and things with growth. We're actually going to be even doing a webinar on this. We just decided this like over the weekend that we did some things and it was like, nope, now we're going to actually do an official webinar and go into depth on it. So we'll get the link here posted for you guys. But if you're interested, you could totally drop a comment if you want to be notified of that. But we're going to do a whole webinar on the cycle of ascension. But now cycles, you cannot avoid the cycles. The only thing you can do is help speed it up. So you can't stop it. If you try to stop it, the cycles, I mean, like we even see cycles in the spring, the spring, summer, fall, winter. There's also birth, growth, decay, and death. Like we see some of these cycles anyway, but you can't avoid them. And if you try, if you're like, no, I'm not going to do the cycle, and try to push it away, all that does is increase the intensity. And then that's when it forces upon you because it's like this big, like squishes you down because it built too much intensity by you trying to fight it or to push it back away. So there's some choice things in there to learn. Is there a lesson to learn, something to grow, change, do, surrender, let go? Like there's all these things that can be a gift for you within that. And then also just I kind of felt like there's this like last minute message here that telling you all of this stuff through the daily energy and even telling you about this cycle. It feels like some of you might be feeling like, yeah, but I'm already getting hit nonstop. Like, it's just like, when is it going to ease up? Like, I'm trying to stand up and I just keep getting knocked down before I can all the way stand up. And so I could see just that. I see a lot of people feeling this way or thinking of it. And there was a very strong message and kind of impression that came. And that was just to let you know that you've got this. You've got this and you're doing way better than you know. So just give yourself a little bit of grace, a little bit of credit, and just be like, dude, look how awesome you're doing. Look how good you're doing. If this is meant to just, align, refine, like if this is meant to be like that, then dang, you're doing good. Like it's just like, just give yourself some like props here. Just be like, oh yeah, you've got this. You've got this. It kind of reminds me of that poem that I read at the end on Friday, is that your head is bloodied but unbowed. Like you're getting hit, but you can still stand with that head held high and know that you're still doing good. So.
Yeah, and for those of you who might have missed Friday's episode, right at the beginning, that daily energy reading was fascinating. And it talked about different messages different groups are getting. And so I would highly recommend going back and watching that after this is over. And if you'd like that training, we're going to be putting that on this week. If you'd like that training, we can send you the link to register. Just comment below the word awakening, and we'll send you that training on navigating the challenges of an awakening. So, and I also, if you're curious, I put a little link in the comments with symptoms and signs of an awakening. And a lot of people in our group, we actually posted that same thing in our free Facebook group. And like so many people were commenting and saying, wow, like you just read my mind. You just looked over my shoulder. Like, how the heck did you know this is happening? We know because we've been through it. So, and Martina through coaching has seen it like over and over and over and over in people. So yeah, we're going to be doing that. It'll be a lot of fun. All right, so we've got lots of people tagging in the comments. Thank you so much. There's a lot of people that we know would be interested in this, and it always is such a great thing because when other people ask questions, we learn. Like Martina and I learn, and I know everybody watching learns too. Like it's amazing the things that come through when you ask questions, and how many people have actually probably the same question. So. All right, let's see. We've got Haley. Nicole invited you. This is awesome. Okay, so she says, I love this. I love a general reading and or a career reading.
Okay, awesome. Welcome, Haley. And thank you, Nicole. I just love you,
Yes.
girl. So I appreciate you you doing that and spreading the good news. We love to serve. So, all right, Haley, great question. I'm just going to look to see. I'm going to pull up your energy here and then see which one speaks louder, just general or career. If they're all one and the same, which they often are, right? Because like our career is also part of us. Okay, so Haley, let's see here. Well, first and foremost, Haley, the thing I feel like you got a lot going on. That's one of the first things. I'm just like, whoa, there's a lot. Like maybe a lot that you're working through or thinking through, or a lot that you're really busy and you're just going. And the first thing that is calling out is for you to breathe. And this is just to take a moment, slow down for a minute, and really focus on some deep breathing. So just like inhale, like really feel like the lower, like your diaphragm, and then feel your lungs and just relax into it. And it feels a little like there are some perhaps like even fear around if you fully relax and let things go. It feels a little panicky, like if I let them go, then all these things are going to drop because you're the one holding them all up and you're the one doing it and keeping track of it. So it feels a little scary to let go all the way, for fear of all these things dropping. So if there's something like a visual that could help you, like, you imagine, this is kind of funny. The imagery that just came to my head was like when you're in a bathroom stall and they've got the hooks on the back of the door to hang your purse. Like, I'm going to just let go. Bathroom stall. Oh, the symbolism in that, right? Like, let go of the poop, go whatever's like not awesome that you're dealing with. Like, let's just release it and let it all go. And you can just still hang your stuff on your purse on the stall door. And then when you're done and you can breathe and you've been relieved, then you can pick back up your purse and it'll have all the stuff inside your purse that you're needing at that particular moment or trying to keep track of. This is kind of a funny one. So I'm totally love to hear how this goes. And I'm like seeing here, like, what else can we give you on this one? So that's the first thing. It's just a little bit of panicky and breathing. And once you do that, I feel like typically you actually have some pretty good, I'm seeing maybe like even like a fast mind, like a really quick mind, like you're used to just like, okay, what about this? Like, what about this? Like ideas, like you can really get information quickly. And I'm actually kind of seeing that you've had some, and that you do have some strong intuition, and you've got some gifts and abilities there. And so I see them, I see that you have them. I could see that maybe right now, maybe you're not accessing them as much as you could, just mainly because of that busy, hurried energy, and it kind of shuts down or kind of makes it just feel like you're leaning too much into the thoughts of things versus your inner knowing and that voice it can directions it can come directly to you. Gosh, I'm just seeing this picture of you got a newborn baby. Is that the busy energy? Because that would be a lot right there if you got these and then you got babies. So take a deep breath, and then I feel like you'll just be able to open up that channel a little bit more and just open it and to receive. And that I'm actually gathering that you actually know already what to do. Um, you're getting the directions, you're getting some information, but it's a matter of trusting it and listening to that intuition even more. Not overthinking it, but just in that quiet space and just like leaning in and really receiving it. So, um, yeah, so it's just a matter of just silencing and then listening because it's coming in. And in fact, I think it's even coming in more right now. I'm seeing it moving down into your eyes and you're being able to see a little bit more. So I'm trying to think, is there anything else on that? It's like it's just kind of waiting for you to finish and to just trust yourself. That's one of the last things to just say is to trust yourself. It's like, yeah, she knows. Like I don't like me personally. It's like Martina, you don't have to show her any direction per se because oh, this is awesome because it actually even feels like even if you give even if you give Haley like a specific direction, you've got such an internal compass that it's like, I'm not going to listen to anybody else until I know, until I get the confirmation. So definitely lean into that. Love it.
Yeah, she said the baby's not hers, but she
Yeah.
is energetically very busy.
Yeah. Well, hopefully that'll help. You kind of get some clearing there.
That's awesome. Okay, let us know, Haley, how that resonates for you in the comments, if you can. That would be amazing. Okay, so next person up is Kavita. It's a cool name.
What a very cool name.
She says, I would like to know if I will find another job anytime soon. I lost my job.
Oh, yeah. Let me take a look for you. Let's see here. And welcome. All right. First and foremost, Kavita, I just want to just send you some extra love and comfort on that because I can see and kind of feel it feels like it was really discouraging for you. Like I see it kind of coming down on the eyes. Um, what I'm going to do here because the future is ever changing, so I don't really do like future telling, but what I'm going to do is look at the energy of where you're at now and the energy of a job and see where there's this alignment so that you can get aligned to receive it. Because I believe that there is a way and that there is one there for you. It's just a matter of aligning to receive. Um, okay, so part of the other things that I'm seeing with getting a job is that part of you is wanting to pull in. Um, so it's like on the exterior, you're wanting a job, but on the inside, it's like I just want to pull in and like hole up and go. Um, I'm like picturing like a hermit crab, like I want to come out, but no, I really just want to pull into my shell and just go deep within. And so there's a lot of like the heart and a lot of things inside of you that are since they're wanting to pull in, and there's a lot of those emotions. I would say first and foremost, start looking at some of those emotions and also um, feeling into and this is where it gets tricky, but it's really important to be able to choose something instead of being forced to. This is tricky because it's like, well, we've got to have a job to eat, to pay for where you live. Like there's actual like physical needs that come from attaching to a job, but that can turn into a force. Like I have to go to work because I have to eat. And so it doesn't give you that freedom. And then it makes you want to resist it. So if you can even just listen to the emotions first, honor how you feel, and be like, you know what, I don't have to work. I could actually just go in and I'll hole up in my room. But because there's things that I want, I choose to work and start like just imagining and just even asking your question, like, how would it feel if I got a job that I loved? and then I was energized by it and I felt good and I was happy with it. Like, start creating what it is that would feel good. And then, oh, okay, because that feels good. Yes, I choose to have a job. I choose to have a job, and then let yourself receive it. And that right there is going to open you up. If you can hold that frequency out of your heart, and like choosing and grateful and excited and wanting to find that job that you just love doing, then it's going to open up opportunities for you that will help speed up getting a job more quickly for you. And it's going to be better aligned anyway, because it's going to be more pure. It's going to be you coming out this way to connect. So I hope that helps, my dear. I know that's a tricky situation when you're having life needs come in.
Yeah, for sure. Well, let us know how that resonates with you, Kavita, in the comments. Okay, Dan, who is invited again by Nicole. So this might be her better half or other half. I don't know who's better. Um, he says, "Am I actually recognizing my gifts and properly working to develop them and how to use them? What work do I need to do to improve physical and emotional health for myself and others?"
Okay, awesome. It's kind of like several questions in one. So I'm going to just look at what pops up most and loudest with all of those things. So we got gifts, we got work, we got talking about physical, emotional health. Okay, let's look at this. So welcome. That is fun. Thank you again, Nicole, for sharing with others. Really appreciate it. Okay. Okay, so one of the first things, Dan, that I'm seeing is a little bit of overwhelm that's coming in, especially into the eyes. Like, it's like, well, what about this or this or this or this? It's like almost just getting really overloaded and with possibilities, or perhaps it's stress, maybe just a lot of things on your plate right now, a lot of things that you're looking at. And so it's creating some overwhelm in the eyes. It's almost like it's trying to think through or flip through things, almost like a Rolodex flipping through your eyes. So so that is one of the first things for your gifts, for sure, that would help to see more clearly, is to release some of that. But let me look to see further what that does. Okay, so if we go through that, remove it. Okay, good. All right, so that is where I do see some of your gifts, definitely in some of this clear seeing, more of a visual person, seeing outcomes, seeing possibilities. And then what are some of the other ones? I'm also getting too that you have some gifts through hearing and through your ears, but it's not necessarily, it may look differently for you. Like, it doesn't necessarily mean you're only hearing sounds or vibrations or hearing voices and stuff, but it just feels like you've got a really big antenna here for, like, I want to say, like, hearing angels or spirits talking to you, or hearing, the Holy Spirit talking to you, and like hearing the voice of God. Like, it just feels like it channels in through your ears, and then it moves out through your eyes. Like, that's the way you see the world. So instead of absorbing through your eyes, it just comes in through the ears and out through the eyes. And I see it almost kind of like a projector, which tells me too that you probably have some really great abilities to, like, once you understand something or know something or taught something, then you can help paint a picture for other people to know what it would look like. Or so it'd be great to, like, share or teach or something with that, being able to share the vision of it. Also too, I'm seeing so something with your throat, in your voice, um, and it's not getting enough expression. So, like, here I'm almost wondering too, where I saw the eyes with the teaching and like maybe sharing things with people. Maybe there's part of you that loves to just talk and to share that way too. So there's something about that combination of verbalizing, also too verbalizing emotions. It's just struggling a bit. So I would definitely do some activities there to strengthen and to start practicing and talking and opening up just a bit more on the feelings of the heart. Okay, and then with the body, And emotions, and two, this even was the next step from the heart, is another, I said it on another, a couple people ago, but just that necessity for breathing more. I feel like you got to actually take a little bit more breath, and just to just sit and breathe, and just to relax into that breath, and to release it down and out. And then with that, I do see there's some expectations that you've kind of mapped out in your head, in your eyes. And I would just invite you to just check in to see if that's in your highest good. The expectations that I see are maybe that you have an idea of what you should look like, what you should feel like. It's like you've got this idea, this ideal picture that's now in front of your eyes, and you're like, that's what I'm going for. And if your reality looks like anything else except for what's in your vision right here, then it's not going to feel like you've succeeded, or you're not going to feel that matching up inside. So I would just invite yourself to just like consider looking at what are these ideals that you've placed upon yourself. And is that the true ideal? Is that a realistic ideal? And is it even serving you to have that ideal? Maybe you can shift it to be like, instead of looking a certain way, or whatever, could it be like maybe feeling a certain way, or having it, what would it look like at the end of your life to feel a certain way? Like you can kind of shift timelines or image of it, and just give just give some new perspectives, so that it's not trying to lock yourself in with that. Because anytime you have a locked in expectation like that, if you're not achieving it, and if it's not achievable for you at this moment, then it can feel like you're failing, you're not doing enough, you don't look good enough, you're not doing enough. It just can feel like, oh, I'm failing at something. But really, is that even what you're trying to achieve, So anyway, let us know how that goes.
Yeah, definitely let us know, Dan. Thanks for asking that question. Okay, let's go to Karen. She said her dad passed away 8 months ago, and she believes it triggered a spiritual awakening. And my family just thinks she had a nervous breakdown. Can you read for me, please?
Great question. First of all, sending you love. My dad passed away a few years ago. It rocked my world. I felt like I had all these tools, and then I was like, oh, grief and loss is a whole different animal. I was like an angry person. I didn't do well. I was angry, but yet also peaceful, also having dreams and having visits, and all of it all in one time. So there's a lot going on, and I do see a lot going on in your world as well. Okay. I'd be really, I can't talk to you right now, but I'd be really interested in having a conversation more in depth on this, because I would love to know, like, what kind of relationship did you have with your dad? And what are some personalities? Are there some like personality similarities with you and your dad or something? Because some of the impression that I'm getting here is that I'm seeing a torch being passed down to you. Like it's almost like, like a track runners, like you pass the baton and there's a torch. There's something in your family lineage through your dad that has been passed to you. And I'm just seeing it like being passed over to you. And absolutely, a torch is a good like matches most what I'm seeing too, because a torch also has that fire on the top. And so it's like this spiritual fire that now is in your hands. And if that spiritual fire, any kind of fire energy that has more of that intensity, it can warm and it can bring light, but it can also feel intense, like it could burn or explode. I mean, there's a lot of things with fire energy. And so you are holding this, and it's like fire, and it's kind of going through you. So there's definitely some awakening. I do see some like conflicts within that are like battling for the old versus the new. So you might be having some actual physical symptoms, or even like your mind and shifting in perspectives and new things going on. It's like the structures of the old are still trying to hang on, and this new is coming in. And so it's like, rah, like just a little conflict. to an outside person that doesn't understand some of this, it would look alarming, and it would look like, if it's the land of unknown, if it's this land of unknown, and they are looking at it with these eyes of just like, I only understand the known and what's visible, then you're going to seem really out there. So I would definitely, what is this in my nose? Hold on a second. I'm trying to like process. Yeah, sorry. It's coming through for, yeah, you're getting some enhanced abilities here. It's really interesting in the nose, though. So I wouldn't be surprised if you actually do have some of your spiritual sense gifts through your nose, and like you can sniff out hypocrisy or sniff out BS, or like that could be one of your spiritual senses to discern things. If it's nice and smells good, and if it's like a clear passageway, or if all of a sudden the nose closes off, like what does that mean? Could it be something that you got to eliminate or get rid of? Like I would totally encourage you to look into if you have spiritual senses in your nose. And if you have not watched, I know we've got some new people here, but we did do a free training on 10 spiritual senses. These are the 10 of them I have never seen taught anywhere else, because honestly, I added a couple just based on the thousands of people that I've seen and done things with. It's like, there's more to it. So if you haven't watched it, Christy, you're already on it. You already posted the link. So good. Yeah, you can totally watch that if you want information about what I'm talking about with that nose thing. But it does feel like you've got some abilities there. The other thing too is that you're probably feeling a lot of sensitivity to the spirit world and some of the other side. It's going to be super important for you to do extra grounding activities to keep you grounded in this world. Sometimes the awakening things are exciting, but if you go too far and you lose your groundedness here, then it can cause more problems. So definitely, go outside, get your grounding, get some grounding mats, connect to people, see what you can do to ground, be in the very present moment at times, even if you're like eating food and you're just enjoying this moment, and your body senses. Try not to escape your body and this earthly experience that you're having, because if you don't have a lot of grounding, just picture a tree. Okay, it's like the roots go down, and the deeper and the wider that the roots can get, then the bigger the tree can be, and the more branches and more fruit it can hold. Right, it provides it stability. If you don't have the roots in deep and wide, then what happens is you become a little bit top heavy. And then if you go off onto the spiritual stuff, then all of a sudden you can flip over, and it like flips over on itself. And it could actually just create some energetic or even kind of spiritual spirals in maybe a direction that wouldn't be for your highest good. So definitely keep your groundedness there. Sending love.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you for asking that question. Okay, so that is all for today. Thank you so much for everybody who wrote in. Also, if you've been teetering on the fence of joining the Intuition Gym and you've been looking at it for a while, or even if it's brand new, you've never heard of it until today, we have a flash sale ending. We are never going to have the rate this low again. It's only $22 a month, or $222 per year. The annual actually includes 2 months free and some awesome bonuses. So get on that. The coupon codes are right there up on the screen. It's monthly 22 or annual 222, depending on which option you wish to go with. And the link is theintuitiongym.com/join. All right. Until tomorrow at Tuesday, 11 a.m. Mountain. We'll see you then.
See you then. Thanks for watching.